fucking stressed out. I'm fucking stressed. We should not be working like this. I work my ass off and I can't even fucking pay bills, bro.
Bro, I'm not gonna fucking make it in this fucking world because, like, tell me why I just went to fucking Kroger's and got groceries. I just got paid today. My last fucking paycheck.
Y'all not understand how fucked up America gotta be for you to work hard and still have no fucking where to go? It's just like, oh my gosh, when is it all going to end? Like, y'all, it's so bad to the point where even though you work, you more than likely can't even eat every day. Not even 3 times a day. Me, none. Yet they expect us to keep working with a smile on our face. Fuck all of that.
They trying to say you need $94,000 to live comfortably in America. What? Who the hell they talking about? And then this study says if you are two working adults and you got 2 children, you need to be bringing in at least $209,000. Excuse me? See, the first thing I notice is they're talking about average instead of the median. The median salary for a single adult in America is about $42,000. And the median cost for a standard, like, family, right? 2 kids, right? Is about $78,000.
I cannot afford Florida anymore. I just looked at my budget and my electric bill for December, which in Florida, mind you, we don't use the AC very much when it comes to December, okay? My electric bill for this December was more expensive than my electric bill from August of 2020, one of the hottest months of the year. Make that make sense. I used way less electricity in December than I do in August of any given year, and somehow my bill is now higher. My electric bills have more than doubled in the course of 5 years. And also, my water bill has more than doubled. And not to mention the rates of my insurance, property taxes, yada, yada, yada. It's all just gone up and up and up. I thought homeownership was supposed to be the cure-all solution. You buy a property, you pay it off one day, and then you are just fancy living, here we come. But apparently, that's not the case, as I know many homeowners who bought in Florida who are being priced out, and they have like the neighborhood fees or the association fees. Those have gone up rampantly without any sort of guardrails, and people who bought houses are just being priced out because of that alone. Luckily, I don't have those, but even I'm still feeling the squeeze with everything going up in the budget, so I'm selling. I can't afford it. And to those saying renting's not much better, I don't know, like, at least you have the mobility to leave, I guess, you know what I mean? The most frustrating thing to me is that we were all just promised this one thing when we all went to college to get the degree and we saved up all the money to make the down payment on the house, and that has not panned out. I'm not like some financial expert. I'm just some guy who just knows that his bills have gone up astronomically, and my baseline number for cost of living per month, even before groceries or like buying clothes, I know from firsthand lived experience that this situation here does not work for me financially. And when the only answer you can get as to why did my bills double in 5 years is just because, that doesn't really give me any comfort that it's gonna get better anytime soon. So I'm tapping out now while I still can, because I'm getting priced out of existence here in Florida. And that's that.
So we in America can't even afford to live anymore. This 1976 cost of living, the average income was $16,000. A home was $43,000. New car, $5,000. Rent, $220 per month. Just look at these prices. So based on that, they're saying that the average income should be what, $84,000 now? So that means that with $240,000, I should be able to buy a new house. It's not possible. And also the average income is not $84,000. You know, most people are making way less than that, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, but it's not $84,000. And based on this, I should be able to get a new car. That's what, it says it would be like $5,000. So if my income is $80,000, a new car should be like $20,000, which most of the time they also are not. I mean, unless you're getting a value car. Also, if we're looking at this, your rent for the year should only be 15% of $6,000, which would be about $2,000 something dollars, which our rent is not 15% per year. It's like 30 or 40% per month. So yeah, something is definitely wrong. New car, nothing is adding up. So basically, we're not making enough to support what things cost, and it's a horrible thing. I'm fucking stressed out. I'm fucking stressed. We should not be working like this. I work my ass off and I can't even fucking pay bills, bro. And they always say don't compare yourself to others, but I see people going to Coachella, what the fuck, Coachella, and fucking like buying all types of shit, just pointless fuck you money, and I'm over here can't even fucking pay my fucking rent, bro.
Bro, I'm not gonna fucking make it in this fucking world because, like, tell me why I just went to fucking Kroger's and got groceries. I just got paid today. My last fucking paycheck. And I spent $73 fucking dollars on popcorn, crackers, Cheez-Its, milk, ranch dressing, tomatoes. Just basic shit, man. Like, a box of fucking Cheez-Its and a box of fucking crackers was $5 a fucking piece. The ranch dressing was fucking $5. The tomatoes were $4. Like, the milk is $7 a gallon and my kid drinks 3 gallons a week. That's $20 fucking dollars. Like, how the fuck did I barely get any goddamn food and it's $73 fucking dollars? Like, what the fuck am I gonna do?
They trying to say you need $94,000 to live comfortably in America. What? Who the hell they talking about? And then this study says if you are two working adults and you got 2 children, you need to be bringing in at least $209,000. Excuse me? See, the first thing I notice is they're talking about average instead of the median. The median salary for a single adult in America is about $42,000. And the median cost for a standard, like, family, right? 2 kids, right? Is about $78,000. See, this is the game that the media will try to play with you to make you think in your struggle, it's you. No, boo. It's the system. Because basically, the American life is becoming mathematically impossible for most Americans to even live. Right now, the American economy feels like, one of those claw machines. You see the prize, you reach for it, but that claw never actually grabs tight enough to pull it out. So I'm asking, when you hear numbers like this, do they feel realistic to you? Or does it sound like they're describing a life that most Americans will never live?
Do y'all know that the average American doesn't have any money left over, if but maybe $200 or $300 left after they get paid every 2 weeks or every month? Did y'all know that? I'm sorry, but that I literally feel like drive me to voluntary homelessness. I would volunteer to be homeless. There's no way they'd have me out here working for anybody and I can't live life after I pay bills. Y'all can have these bills back. Take the car, take the crib. You can have it. Listen, I'm going to be homeless on the streets before I dare. Because, see, the way I'm set up, my Father which art in heaven would never have that be my portion. That's not my portion. There's no way that paying bills and not having any money left over to really exist, that's not my portion. That's not my portion. And I feel like if that doesn't motivate you and inspire you to get out here and go make some money, make more money. See, the problem with us nowadays is not that we don't know how to make money. It's just that we need to make more money. Find ways to make more money. Stop making excuses. You need to be trying to be the president of the United States before you stop trying to find a new job. Listen, if you got to switch jobs every single 2 weeks, then that's what you got to do. May the best salary win. Thank you.
The first thing that I saw on TikTok this morning was a video about how over 50% of Americans cannot or will not pay their bills. I kept scrolling. You know the next video I saw? A video about how the government is trying to make homelessness illegal. I kept scrolling and I come across a live. You know what's on this live? The government. Not talking about, any of this stuff. They're worried about social media still. They're really out here like, yeah, we don't care that people are about to be homeless and we won't allow them to be homeless, but we're also not going to do anything to help them not be homeless. We're going to continue to steal their money. They gathered up the CEO of TikTok, Discord, and Facebook in a room to cry about how minors are lying about their age and what they can do about it, and making laws for that. Demanding to know how algorithms work. Saying stuff like, you guys suck at policing your platforms. You're one to talk. Why are we allowing this? I see a lot of people asking that question. Why do we allow this? The people control the government, right? I mean, you'd think so. That's how it is. But people are too afraid to actually go do stuff about it because we're afraid we're gonna get, pew-pewed. We're afraid we're gonna be arrested. We're afraid something's gonna happen to our kids. Or maybe we just can't go do anything about it because everybody is too freaking poor and can't afford to have somebody watch their kids while they go do this. Or because they don't want to bring their kids with them to something that's probably super dangerous just for the government to do their flippin' job. I'm just frustrated. We're all poor. We're all broke. Facebook and Instagram suck most of the time. Discord is a chat. It's not like social media. TikTok is all we've got to keep us afloat and, just have some kind of life that is entertaining. Ted Cruz is on there talking about how he is so terrified for his children because he doesn't want them to come across certain hashtags or emojis. I'm sorry, my kids are only 2 and 3, but I would be more concerned about them watching you, Ted Cruz. I'm not worried about my kids watching drag queens. I'm not worried about my kids, coming across somebody who's in the LGBTQ plus community. I'm not worried about my kids watching somebody tell us a true story that happened to them. Yeah, it may be triggering, but it's true and we need to learn about it. No. I'm worried about them seeing stuff like this that you're talking about in the courtroom and how you're treating people who did absolutely nothing wrong. I'd rather them not see stuff about how our government actually doesn't care about the people and is trying to reverse the power and control and censor us. Not fucking cool. Not cool.
Y'all not understand how fucked up America gotta be for you to work hard and still have no fucking where to go? It's just like, oh my gosh, when is it all going to end? Y'all, it's so bad to the point where even though you work, you more than likely can't even eat every day. Not even 3 times a day. Me, none. Yet they expect us to keep working with a smile on our face. Fuck all of that. I be seeing why people don't fucking want to work. They pay us a little bit of money, but make everything fucking expensive. I'll be damned if I'm putting my life on the line for $14, $15. And then the whole time, your ass can get hurt or die at the fucking job you're at. So now you done fucking wasted your whole life being a hard worker to a company that don't give a fuck about what you got going on. Don't give a fuck that you don't have nowhere to go. Just don't give a good goddamn. And certain people will never understand the frustration. You guys will never understand unless you're going through it. There is no reason why hard workers can't afford to eat, can't afford to live, can't afford to pay rent. It is so much. And I just wanted to let everybody out there know, okay? If you are deciding to bring your ass to America, hold on, y'all. Stay the fuck over there. Do not come over here. Please. I beg of you. This shit sucks. All prayers to all my Americans, all my USA motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying, my cousins, all that. We gotta figure something out, because this ain't gonna work for me.
All right, credit card debt in the U.S. is hit a record 18.4 trillion. That's credit card balances, ladies and gentlemen. What that means is that is $70,000 per adult. It's because families are facing mounting financial pressures. Groceries are up 29%. Inflation has gone up again at 2.8%. Electricity went up 13% average in 2025, and electricity is supposed to go up another 9% in 2026. We now pay an extra tax called a tariff of anywhere from 10 to 147%. 1.2 million Americans lost their job last year in 2025, and more are going to lose their job in 2026. Hi, my name's Christina. I have a master's degree in business. Already in 2026, 58 to 60% of companies are expecting to do layoffs. 1 out of 4 people unemployed, 25%, have been unemployed for 27 weeks or longer. This is why people are using credit. They are absolutely stretched thin. This is a sign that people are struggling. The top 10 states with credit card delinquencies, 9 out of 10 are in red states. The top people struggling are the top 2, Florida and Texas. Yes, red state. Buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. 2026 is going to be even worse. Drop a comment and follow for more.
So there's breaking news right now. I don't know if you all are paying attention, that the U.S. Treasury Secretary says that the U.S. may not be able to pay its bills by June 1st. And they're pleading for intervention. Did I ever tell you all? I'm getting old, but did I ever tell you all that story about how I first understood the ramifications of capitalism? My younger sister and I, and a neighbor, when we were kids, we were obsessed with the game Monopoly. We just loved that game. And there would be, and I don't know why we loved it, but during the summer, we could sit down in the morning and play that game until the end of the evening, till kids could stay up. And there was one time where we were like, let's just play all day. We're just going to have a Monopoly marathon. And I swear to you, we took lunch breaks. We would come back and we just kept playing and playing. And eventually what we started to find was that everything ended up being owned by one player. Eventually, all the property was owned by one player. And then later, the bank was even owned by that one player. It was just fascinating. I mean, the game literally ended because no one else had money except this one player. And there's something about that memory that's coming up right now that you all need to be very aware that capitalism is eating itself now. It has no more workers to feed. It can't even feed off of the workers anymore. It can't even exploit the workers anymore to continue to survive. It's feeding off of itself. JP Morgan just brought, First Federal? Come on, y'all. I hope you're not thinking about buying a house right now. I hope you're not thinking about buying a car right now. Even your cash is sus. I'm not trying to make you afraid, but this is eating itself. Get your passport and put a rush on it. That's all I'm saying. All right.
Living in America right now feels like a punishment. You wake up already behind, you go to work just to stay broke, and you watch the cost of everything rise while your paycheck doesn't move an inch. Groceries are a luxury. Rent is robbery. Healthcare is a joke. And somehow we're the ones blamed for not budgeting better. People are working 2-3 jobs and still choosing between food or gas. Families are crammed into apartments because buying a house became a fantasy. You can't afford to get sick. You can't afford to rest. You can't afford to exist. But they keep telling us the economy's strong. Strong for who? Because it sure as hell isn't the people doing the work. We're out here treading water while billionaires build rockets, politicians trade stocks, and corporations raise prices just because they can. We were promised opportunity. We got survival. And what makes this worse is watching people blame themselves. Like somehow you failed because you can't afford a 1-bedroom anymore. Like you didn't do enough when the truth is the math just stopped adding up. years ago. They told us to work harder, but never told us they'd change the finish line. This isn't a country full of lazy people. It's a country full of exhausted ones. Simple as that.
So why does Trump keep saying affordability is a Democratic scam when Americans can't even pay their bills? Because he's not denying your reality. He's denying responsibility. And the word scam is a shortcut to protect himself, his donors, and his strategy. If Trump admits affordability is a crisis, then people will expect him to fix it. And fixing it means explaining why wages are flat, why prices are high, and why corporations are taking record profits. All roads lead back to corporate price gouging, consolidation, deregulation, and his tariffs. The exact things his donors want. So instead of addressing the pain, he just says the pain isn't real. If the crisis is fake, he owes you nothing. No plan, no policy, no solutions. Here's the real truth. A recession benefits Trump and his donors. Recessions are profitable for billionaires. That's when private equity buys everything cheap. That's when wages go down and profits go up. So he sets the narrative now. If things get worse, he'll say Democrats lied. And if prices fall because demand collapses, he'll say, look, I fixed it. Your suffering becomes his political storyline. Calling affordability a scam also protects his donors from regulation. If he acknowledged the crisis, people would demand price caps, antitrust enforcement, taxes on windfall profits, actual consumer protections. His donors don't want any of that. So he pretends the entire crisis was invented by Democrats, not because the pain isn't real, but because regulating corporate behavior would cost him support from the people funding his entire operation. And all of this fits perfectly into phase 2, the consolidation of power phase. Phase 2 requires one thing: for you to believe the system is lying to you. If he can't convince you, the media lies, the data lies, the experts lie, and even your own bank account is somehow a political trick, then you're more willing to accept him firing staff, replacing agencies, overriding regulators, and centralizing control upward. Deny the crisis, undermine the trust, justify the takeover. And calling affordability a scam also redirects your anger. People are exhausted and furious. But if that anger ever turns toward corporations, monopolies, landlords, donors, or the policies that caused this mess, he loses his entire coalition. So he hands you a simple villain. Democrats are lying to you. It's emotional misdirection, because if you're focused on Democrats, you're not noticing who's actually driving up your prices. Trump isn't calling affordability a scam because it's fake. He's calling it a scam because admitting it would expose the people funding him, and the strategy he's building his entire second term on. Americans deserve so much better. Stay steady. Eyes open. Guard the Republic.
The U.S. Treasury just announced that the U.S. is insolvent. We are broke. They're going to use very specific terms. They're going to say our assets don't match our obligations, right? And that literally means the money we make as a country, assets, don't meet our bills, our obligations. We can't pay our bills. And they've actually said it. And this is literally because the United States refuses to tax the rich an appropriate amount, and we're spending too much on our military. Had we reduced our military spending and taxed the rich, we wouldn't be in this situation. And people are going to say, we are taxing the rich. Not enough. Not enough. The rich people are too rich in this country. There were patriotic millionaires that came out and said, a bunch of them came out and said, you need to tax us more because we are not getting taxed enough. We have money hand over fist. If you took more money out of our pockets, it wouldn't even affect our personal day to day. It's just sitting in our bank accounts, doing nothing. But the other millionaires and the politicians all said, no, we're not going to do that. Even though millionaires came out, you can look them up, patriotic millionaires, and said rich people aren't getting taxed enough. So because we are not taxing the rich and because we are spending so much on the military, we don't have enough money to pay our bills. And the worst part about it with this war in Iran, our military is being proven to be inefficient, ineffective. Our warships have toilet problems. They're retreating. An F-35, one of the most expensive fighter jets, just got hit by these cheap drones that Iran has, and it didn't even do evasive maneuvers. It just got hit. It's supposed to be able to detect an incoming missile. Something's locked onto me. I'm supposed to move out of the way, whatever have you. It didn't even detect it. We've accidentally shot down our own planes out there because of bad communication. Our military is proving to be ineffective, inefficient, but we spend so much money on them. So logically speaking, if you were thinking like a business, truly, you would say, we need to cut our losses. We need to go ahead and reduce our military spending because clearly it's not going anywhere positive, and we need to tax the rich. But we won't. We're going to do some other stupid stuff. I hate to say it that way. We're probably going to take out other federal programs and stuff that aren't going to make up the bill. They will not make up the amount we need. We have to tax the rich appropriately. They do not need all that money sitting in a bank. They don't. They're making enough money to still be rich if we tax them appropriately, and we need to reduce our military spending. This is insane. Y'all have a good day.
So the United States has a problem, and that problem is taxes. And it's something that is going to hit you in the near future. Alrighty, so this is a conversation that we need to have before we do midterm elections. So the issue that America has is that we just got done from collecting $5.2 trillion for the 2025 tax term, right? The issue is that Congress is currently spending $7 trillion annually. Yes, it doesn't take rocket science for us to be able to see that $5.2 trillion is still $1.8 trillion short of the amount of money that Congress is spending on an annual basis. Okay. Now, the issue that we have with this is that we have people in office who ran on waste, fraud, and abuse. However, their actions have never been one to be fiscally responsible. Donald Trump has never paid his bills. Donald Trump has also filed for bankruptcy more times than you and I can ever be approved for. So I've always been very confused about how we thought he would be able to balance a budget in government. This is the thing that you need to understand about government versus business, right? Government does not make money. It does not earn a revenue. Okay? Businesses do, right? Which is why businesses, if they're falling short, they have to increase their sales goals to make more money so that they can then balance their books. The United States government has a budget. There is no increasing to that budget. This is how much money you get, period. Sort it out, divide it out for where it's going to go. Oh, you see that they're not spending all their money? Cut their budget, take that money, send this money this way. That's how budgeting works, right? The issue is that when it comes down to the track record of Republicans versus Democrats, Republicans, at least for these past 2 to 3 transitions, have been given great economies. And they screwed it. Partially because war, right? So let's go back. You had Bill Clinton. Okay, Bill Clinton, we love Bill Clinton. We understand that some of you guys may have some moral differences. However, we were thriving financially. Alrighty. Who ends up inheriting Bill Clinton's thriving America? George W. Bush. And there's no need for us to thoroughly discuss what happened there. All I got to tell you is war in Iraq and war in Afghanistan. He hit us with a BOGO. 2 for 1. We were in 2 wars over one situation, and one of the wars was all about a lie. Exactly. So then in comes our good president, Barack Obama, doing his big one. He is a constitutional scholar. That man is brilliant. He had to bail out the car companies. Everybody thought it was going to fail. That man got us soaring. pulled us out of a depression and a recession. Okay? Things started looking up for us. And then who inherited the great economy that Barack Obama created from dust? Donald Trump. Now, Donald Trump came in and he blew through his budget because he was golfing for the first 2 months. For the first 2 months. And then we had the pandemic. And then economy was real shaky. Who inherited that? Joe Biden. He turned it around. He turned around so much so that by the time he was headed out of office, we were having the best GDP and upswing than any other country in the world, because the whole world was impacted by the pandemic. And what did y'all do? Y'all gave that upswing back to a man that is now dragging us through the muck and miry clay, because we are back in a war, spending money that we do not have. Meanwhile, he has knocked down the East Wing, talking about a ballroom. Meanwhile, he created this farce of a task force called Doge that was supposed to be able to go and help with waste, fraud, and abuse. And all I see is them continuing to be wasteful, fraudulent, and abusive towards our funds. And what do they tell you? They tell you that as Americans, it is not your job to pay for social services. Babe, you paying taxes and your tax money going towards social service is not the issue as to why the American economy is currently scary. Is because there is a lack of budgeting, a lack of understanding government finance, a lack of understanding how to actually run a government because of whomst you elected, not just in the White House, but also in Congress. Congress folks have their own issues, right? I have my own gripes with them. The fact that they are millionaires, the fact that they have insider knowledge and therefore trade and make money and blah, 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 blah. Sure. However, if you have the right people that understand their fiscal responsibility as the people that keep the purse, who you elect in Congress makes a very big difference, because they are the ones that keep the purse. They're the ones that fund things. So these wars, these conflicts, Venezuela, the stuff that's happening over there in Iran, the people that we're shipping and handling, that costs money, babes. All of these legal fees and everything else, you guys, that's not free. And there are people in Congress who could stop it, but they have been voting to keep it going. They've been voting not to stop what was happening in Venezuela. They are voting not to stop what's going on in Iran. And it is going to impact your money. But I want you to know that this is a more dynamic situation than what you may think, because it's going to impact the cost of living. It's going to impact jobs. It's going to impact the private sector and how they'll be able to charge for things, the jobs that they'll be able to create, and how they balance their books. And so with midterm elections pulling up in November, I need you to know that this is a money conversation, and your money is inevitably bound to whatever vote you decide to vote. But what I want you to know is that Republicans, the last couple times that they have been in the majority, has taken your money and increased how much of your money they take, while also cutting the amount of money that they take from the rich. And those are the facts, ladies and gentlemen.
Something serious is happening right now, and most people are not paying attention. People are starting to skip their bills, not because they forget, not because they don't care, but because they literally can't keep up anymore. And when that starts happening at scale, that's not just a personal problem. That's a warning sign, a big one, because think about it. Bills used to be non-negotiable. Rent, electricity, credit card, you pay them first no matter what. But now, people are making choices. Do I pay rent or buy food? Do I clear this debt or keep the light on? And when it gets to that point, something is already broken. Now, here is where it gets deeper. From the outside, it's easy to judge, to say people should be more responsible, they should manage their money better. But what happens when the math simply doesn't add up? Prices goes up, wages stay almost the same, every month feels tighter than the last, so people start prioritizing survival over obligation. And once that shift happens, it spread, because when more people start missing payments, it doesn't just affect them, it affects the system. Banks feels it, landlord feels it, businesses feels it. Everyone becomes unstable, and that's why this isn't just about bill. It's about what comes next, because story has shown when people can't afford the basic anymore, big changes follow. Sometimes slowly, sometimes all at once, but change always comes. And here is the uncomfortable truth. A lot of people are one or two missed payments away from being in that same situation. That's how close this is. That's how real this is. So instead of asking why are people skipping bills, maybe the real question is what kind of system make it impossible for people to keep up? Because when survival becomes the priority, everything else become optional, and that's when you know something bigger is happening. What do you think? Is this just a temporary struggle or a sign of something bigger is coming? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about it. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because this conversation they matter now more than ever. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all in my next video.